the edges that may bother us now, but we'll make a go of it. N5DE.
WB5DRI W6WAY, we got you. Good morning, it's WB5DRI.
Morning, Brian. WB5DRI.
K84YES, WB5DRI. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning to you, and now I have two visitors on my radio. Mr. Scott, Mr. Wolf, and Mr. Tracy. All three of these fine gentlemen come to help me today. We're trying to share the sample parts with you on Monday.
Okay, Tom, very good. Well, good to hear you this morning, and very good morning to your visitors there. I think you said Mr. Stacy and Mr. Hawk. I didn't catch the other name there, over. Okay, real fine, Tom. Well, thank you for your service there, Mr. Scott, and good morning to you and Mr. Stacy and the other gentleman as well. Okay, Tom, very good. Good to hear you this morning. This is WB5DRI. We'll be net control for the Air Force's Flyers Club net this morning, and we'll be starting up at the top of the hour in about 10 minutes on this frequency, WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, W4PUO.
I got a couple of stations in there, W4PUO, and I think it was AG4RY, is that correct? Okay, Alpha Golf 4 Radio Yankee. Well, good morning to you, and what was your name and location there, over? Well, thank you for your service there, Gary. In the Air Force in the 70s. I didn't catch the last part of your transmission. What aircraft were you in there, over? Oh, okay. I got you that time. Air traffic controller. An AFSC for air traffic control. Very good, Gary. You'll fit right in with our group here. We have some air traffic controllers in our net, and one here with us this morning, in fact. Roger, Gary. Well, we'll check you in and check you out if you can't stick around. But thanks for checking in with us this morning. And 73s, have a great day there in Tennessee. And thanks again for your service there as an air traffic controller. 73s, Gary. That break with AG4RY. Let me go to Lee there. W4PUO. Lee, are you copying me this morning?
Yes, I am. I've got you 5.5, Brian. Very good readability and a low noise level. So check me in, please, and good to hear you.
Okay, Lee. Well, very good. Good to hear you this morning, and we got you on the list here. WB5DRI, W5PIX. I got the beam pointed at you at the moment. WB5PIX, standing by for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net here on this frequency here in about 5 minutes. WB5PIX, stand by.
W5PIX, W5OG. Good morning, Cliff. What did you do? You came up 2 or 3 yesterday.
Hold on a second. Go ahead, Dale. I hear you locally there. Over.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you did because you came up 2 or 3 S units.
You took a dip on me there, Dale. I did not. Did I see what?
No, I just wondered what you did to your signal. It came way up. Your signal came way up. I was barely hearing you on the SCR, and now I'm hearing you well. Good 2 or 3 S units improvement in your signal. Your signal came way up, Cliff. What did you do?
Yeah, I'm going to be short time. I got to run over here to Navy Federal and get a debit card straightened out. Well, I can't keep one for about a week and somebody's already hacked into it. I don't know what's going on, but anyways, yeah, I'm going to be short time this morning there, Dale.
Okay, you must not be hearing me too well. No worries, Cliff. We'll talk to you later, and I'll make sure that you're on as a short timer there. I'm sure that Lee heard you there because you're quite strong on the Utah SCR. W5OG, standing by for the net.
Go ahead, Dale. No problem. W5PIX standing by. Short time.
W5PIX and 5B. I got you moved up, Cliff. Not a problem.
Frequencies in use. So, man, this is net control for the Air Force's Flyers Club, WB5DRI. Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Echo is it? Lima Kilo Victor. Lima Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Kilo Victor. Yeah, good morning. This is Whiskey Bravo 5 Delta Romeo India. You landed on the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Are you going to check in this morning? Well, that was my intention. The handle of the year is Andrea, Alpha November Delta Romeo Echo Alpha. I was stationed in Nellis Air Force Base in the mid-90, and I was part of the 820 Red Horse Squadron. QSL? QSL, very good. What was your name again? Andrea, Alpha November Delta Romeo Echo Alpha. Okay, Andrea, very good. Well, good to have you with us this morning. Thank you for your service, and we'll put you down as a visitor here and get you right at the top of the list here, right after our short timers. And I guess you're in Missouri, O'Fallon, Missouri. So very good, Andrea. Thanks for joining us this morning. Break with you. I'm going to go ahead and start up the net. It is almost time, almost 10 o'clock Central Time. This is WB5DRI. We'll be net control this morning for the Air Force's Flyers Club net. This net meets on this frequency every day of the year, normally starting up about this time, about 10 o'clock Central Time. I want to welcome everybody to the net. The Flyers Club consists of military aviation members, both active and retired, and veterans of all the military services, to include pilots, air crew, ground crew, air traffic controllers, missile crews, support crews, and anyone involved with military aviation from all of the air branches of our military services. We also very much like to welcome visitors to the net, and you don't need to be involved with the military or aviation in order to check in. Our purpose is to promote fellowship between those radio amateurs who devote a portion of their lives to support our air forces. This is a control net. We like to use the words contact, relay, check-in, or info to contact net control. We also have a very good website at Air Forces Plural, Flyers Plural, Club.org, which has a lot of good information about the net and also an online application if you feel qualified and would like to join. Again, that's not necessary in order to check in. Again, my call sign is Whiskey Bravo 5 Delta Romeo India. My name is Brian, and I'm located down here in San Antonio, Texas, in the Alamo City in South Central Texas. Our format for this net is we take check-ins and we go down the list, allowing each station to give their report, and then we go back for a second 73 round if there's time, and usually on Saturdays we have a little bit more time for the net, and usually a lot of check-ins, so it's a lot of fun here on Saturday net. At this time, I do have the following stations off of NetLogger and stations that I've talked to this morning. For the net, I have, first of all, K0ZNC, that's Don in Longmont, California, and he's on Echolink, and he's going to be simulcast in by W5OG. Then I have W5 PIX, who's mobile this morning. That's Cliff, and he's a short timer. Good morning to both of you gentlemen. Then I have our visitor from Missouri there, Andrea, KC0 Lima Kilo Victor. And we've got you on the list here, Andrea, so good to have you with us this morning. Then I have our NetLogger N5BE, and he is helping me out with NetLogger. I really appreciate that, Lee. And he says he wants to pass on the question there, I guess, but maybe he'll talk about the question when we get down to it a little bit anyway. But good to have you with us, Lee. Good morning to you. Thanks for all you do with the NetLogger. Then we have WW5ENZ, that's Chief Mike up in Oklahoma City. Good morning to you, Mike. Then we have KA4YES, Tom, who I talked to earlier. Good morning again, Tom, and to your visitors there, Mr. Scott and Mr. Stacy, and I didn't catch the name of the other gentleman, but we'll wish all of you gentlemen good morning. Then I have W5OG, my older brother Dale, who is up in East Texas. Good morning to you, Dale, and love to you and Carolyn there this morning. And thanks for helping out this morning on the net here with bringing Don in. And then I have WA6LJS, another one of our net controllers out in California. And good morning to you, John. Then I have K1BOB, our commander. Good morning to you, sir, up in near Boise, Idaho. Then I have another one of our members who's ops officer, KF7GJO, who is also an air traffic controller, former air traffic controller. I guess now he's a noted author. But good morning to you, Carl. Then I have W6WAY, that's Jim out in Corona, California, who I talked to earlier. Good morning, Jim. Then I have WB5DRI, that's Ray in New Jersey. Good morning to you, Ray. And then I have W4PUO, Lee, that I talked to earlier. Good morning again, Lee. And you'll find it interesting that the questions this morning concern the SR-71. So I think you might have plenty to add to that since you flew that fine airplane. Then I have W5ABI. That's Joe out in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Good morning to you, Joe. Then I have K4YDB, and that's Charlie. And Charlie is doing our live stream of our net on YouTube. If you type in, if you go to YouTube, and type in his call sign, K4YDB, the live stream will come up, and you can see his very, very good website that covers the entire net to include the questions there. So anyway, good morning to you, Charlie. Thanks for all that you do there with the live stream. Then we have KQ6E, that's Mike out in Anthem, Arizona. Good morning to you, Mike. And then we have K6DLC, that's Daniel out in California. Good morning to you, Daniel. Then we have our tailhook Navy guy, that's K6TX, Steve out in near San Diego. Good morning to you, Steve. Then I have actually a station that checked in and out earlier. I want to recognize Alpha Golf 4 Romeo Yankee. That was Gary in Tennessee. He was a former Air Force air traffic controller. He checked in and out on the net this morning. So I want to recognize him again in case he might still be listening out there. That is the bottom of the list as I have it. Did I miss any stations, or do we have any additional check-ins, I guess I should say, before we get a call out from the west and east coast there? This is WB5DRI. We're looking for members or guests for the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Please call now.
Check-in, Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec, Mike F.
Whiskey X-Ray 7, Lima, Lima. Good morning, Art. Got you on the list here, Art. Let me see if we can get a call out from California there. WA6LJS, John, could you put out a call, please, sir?
Welcome. This WA6LJS relay for net control for the Saturday morning Air Force Flyers net. We're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Call out. Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec, Mike X-Ray. Well, I heard a Kilo Bravo something, Brian, but it was in my noise. Did you get it?
He was a little light with me. I'll see if I can hear him. Kilo Bravo station, come back again, please. W5OG, Dale, did you hear him?
Well, only on the SCR, Brian, but very light. I think Kilo Bravo 6, Quebec, Mike X-Ray, was that what it was there, over?
Hi, Dale, it's Dave, Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec, Mike X-Ray.
Yeah, I'm hearing you locally now. Give me your call sign again, please. Go ahead.
Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec, Mike X-Ray.
Are you hearing him, Charlie? Yeah.
Okay, great. Charlie, we'll probably get you to relay him in because he's very light with, I think, Dale and myself. Location?
Good morning. This is Dave, Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec Mike X-Ray. I'm in Massachusetts. I've joined the net in the past. Been off the radio for a while, and I thought I'd check in today. I'm halfway between Boston and Cape Cod, a little town called Hampton, Massachusetts. I'm a former Air Force, stationed at Quasim Rock when I was active. Yes, sir. At one point I was number 598 on the club roster. I've attempted to contact the keeper of the roster to try to update dues and such, but I haven't gotten a reply email.
Yeah, I'm not copying him, but I'll look him up on one of the older lists.
Will do. I'll be listening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. While you're there, why don't you go ahead and put out a call from the East Coast there, Charlie, please. K4YDB, WB5DRI. Okay, Charlie, thanks for that. Let me go ahead and give the questions of the day. If you type in Charlie's live stream there, like I said, K4YDB on YouTube, his live stream will come up and you can see the questions there. But the two questions that I have this morning concern the SR-71 Blackbird. The SR-71 was in service from 1964 all the way up to 1998. I think it actually had its last flight sometime in 1999, but anyway, that was the period that was mostly in service, 64 to 98. And the question is, how many were lost due to enemy action? And the possible answers are Alpha 0, Bravo 2, Charlie 4, Delta 6. Alpha 0, Bravo 2, Charlie 4, Delta 6. And the bonus question, of the 32 Lockheed SR-71 Blackbirds built, how many were lost due to accidents? Of the 32 SR-71s that were built, how many were lost due to accidents? And the possible answers are Alpha 12, Alpha 12, Bravo 14, Bravo 14, Charlie 16, Charlie 16, Delta 18, Delta 18. So, and to make the answers are similar to, the questions are very similar to the way that Lee Began in 5BE does his with matched answers. The answers are a matched pair. For example, Alpha Alpha or Bravo Bravo and so forth. So if you get the first question right, you'll have the second question right and vice versa. So let's go ahead and get started. First up this morning would be K0ZNC. Good morning again, Don. Hope everything is going well for you there in Longmont. And I think Dale's going to bring you in there. Over to W5OG to bring in K0ZNC. WB5DRI.
Yeah, Brian, and also KB1QMX, Dave is a member. His member number is 598. So welcome back to the net there, Dave. Sorry I'm not hearing you all that well this morning. Don, K0ZNC. Don, go ahead. I'll bring you in for the net this morning. Go ahead, Don, W5OG. W5OG, back to net.
Okay, Don, K0ZNC, WB5DRI. Well, very good, Don. Good to hear you this morning, and glad to hear it's going to warm up there next week for you. I think the same thing is going to happen here. We're pretty cold this morning. We were right at freezing. That's cold for San Antonio, but we have been below freezing for a couple of days before this, so freezing is not too bad for us. But we're above freezing now. Think about 34 or 35, and going up to about 41, 40 or 41 for the high, I think, today. So anyway, got your answers there, Don. Very good. Alpha. Let's keep it moving here. Next up would be Cliff, W5PIX. And good morning to you, Cliff. And where are you bound for Mobile today? WB5DRI. Well, WB5DRI, W5PIX. Well, right now I'm bound nowhere. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to change antennas. Not bound anywhere. I got to go to the bank. But I'll be going down to Victoria tomorrow for starting our run down south. But we are home right now, thawing out. And, well, as you all heard, I was talking about some space yesterday. Well, I took Miss Bonnie back up to Blanco and come almost $600 worth of steaks. And then I had to go out and buy a new freezer last night because the one she's got it overstocked. So anyways, we got it all put away and had some steak and eggs this morning for breakfast, which was very good, very tender. Enjoyed it very much. Well, I'm going to go with Alpha on the questions, but yeah, I've got to get going and take care of some personal business there. But I'd love to stick around. But Brian, it's a good question, and have a good net there. And like I said, tomorrow we'll be here for a little bit, and then we're going to be heading down to Victoria to go to Corpus, Harlingen, and McAllen for Monday. So anyway, thank you, Brian, and thank you again. with you later on to answer that question. So this is W5PIX back to WB5DRI. Everybody have a very good day. Stay on the warm side, even though it is getting warmer. Still raining here and there a little bit. W5PIX clear. Okay, real fine, Cliff. W5PIX, WB5DRI. Well, in regards to Miss Bonnie there, you guys have a great day. And we got your answers there as Alpha Alpha. And completely understand you got stuff to do. And we'll talk to you the next time. But have a great day there. 73 is to you, sir. Break with W5PIX. Let's go to our visitor this morning from Missouri, who was an air traffic controller, I believe. I think that's right. Yeah. No, I've got him mixed up. I'm sorry. I've got you confused with another guy. But anyway, Andrea in Missouri, good to have you with us this morning. Kilo Charlie 0, Lima Kilo Victor. You're up for the net, Andrea. Good morning. WB5DRI.
Good morning, everybody here on the net. This is Kilo Charlie 0, Lima Kilo Victor. I heard that the net was Air Force, and as a former Air Force member, I'd like to join and just say hello to everybody. And beautiful day, and this is my first time, I believe, on this net, so it's interesting, and I would like to join again in the future. So KC0, LKV, back to net.
Okay, Andrea. Well, thank you for your service there. I think you said you were in the radio squadron, so very good on that. I did some work around communications myself for most of my career, so very good. And we just, did you want to take a guess at the answers to the questions this morning, Andrea? Did you hear the questions?
Yes, I did hear the question, but no, I wouldn't know the first thing about answering that question. So, but thank you very much for asking.
Yes, sir. That's not a problem at all. It's just something we do for fun. So anyway, very good to have you with us, Andrea. And you're really booming into my station here in San Antonio this morning. I think you must be about a 5.8 or so right now. Very nice signal. So good to have you with us from Missouri. And do come back and join us whenever you can, and check out our website at airforcesflyersclub.org. Anyway, let's go ahead and break with you, and let's keep it moving here. Let's see, next up would be one of our members in California, actually, I believe, Dan, K6DLC. You're up, Dan. Good morning. WB5DRI.
K6 Delta Lima Charlie. Good morning, everybody. I just popped in here. You caught me off guard, so nothing to say. Not getting 17. Get a nice day. 45 degrees. It's no clouds, so that's about it. Back to you. Oh, I just found out a friend of mine I've known for a long time. He used to be a coffee maker at the local coffee shop. When he went in the airport, and he went to attain me, and we just got signed. Found out he's an air traffic controller. He was going to be transferred to Oklahoma and get more training, but he's the one that we convinced him to go in the Air Force versus the Army. Hi. He's not in ham, but I'm working on that when he gets back. K6DLC.
Okay, Dan, very good. Thank you for your service, and it's helpful to have somebody that's an elmer even for the service there. So very good. And did you have an answer on the question, Dan? Over.
Negative. I think I've actually touched the answer 71 many times, but I did not continue the question. I was distracted with something else, so I apologize. But my memory is not that good anymore, so you guys have a good day, and hope everybody gets the right answer. If you get the wrong answer, you learn from it. What can you say? K6DLC.
Okay, Dan, very good. Well, we'll give you a call on the 73 round around, Dan, in case you're able to stick around. But thanks for joining us this morning. Let's keep it moving. May have to have Charlie relay in one of our members, Dave, number 598 out in Massachusetts there. Kilo Bravo 1, Quebec Mike X-ray. Good to have you back in there with us, Dave. You're up for the net. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, KB1 QMX. Hope I got the call right. Yeah, this is Dave up in Massachusetts. Haven't been active on the radio too much. I retired at the end of last year, and for the past couple of months I've been just getting my life organized. I'm enjoying retirement, but it's a big change. So I hope everybody in the group is doing well. I won't hold it. I'll send it back. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Dave, AB1, you on that. Back to that.
Okay, Charlie, did he give an answer? He's very, very light with me. He's almost below my noise level there.
I'll take a guess at it. Sure. I don't believe any Answer 71s were lost in hostile actions. But I do believe there were some crashes, and don't know how many, but I'll go with 4. So I'd say 4 crashes, nothing lost in hostile action. It's Dave, KB1 QMX, back in there. Yes, sir. That sounds good.
Yeah, Roger. I got him down for Charlie. Charlie, very good there, Dave. Good to have you in there with us, Dave. We'll give you a call on the 73 round. Maybe conditions will pick up out to Massachusetts there, I hope. Maybe the band will swing around a little bit. Anyway, good to have you with us there, Dave. Break with KB1 QMX. Let's go to our net logger this morning. Lee, very good to hear you this morning, and thought you might enjoy this question. You're up, sir. N5BE, WB5DRI.
WB5DRI and 5BE. Good morning, Brian. And yes, I do enjoy the question. But I saw the question earlier this week. I didn't see the answers, but I saw the question. I already knew the answer to the first question. I did not remember the bonus question answer. So I think from an ethics standpoint, I'm going to pass. And ethics is the subject matter for me today, tied into this aircraft, by the way. I've got a friend out in West Texas that goes to a community lunch 4 days a week. The retired Army W5 helicopter pilot, also was in military intelligence during the Tet Offensive in Vietnam, and just a guy who really is now 100% disabled, but really served his country. He's got a friend that shows up at that lunch, and this friend regales him with tales that I think TUO would enjoy. He claims that he was an SR-71 pilot for the CIA. So right away, my alarm bells go off, and I say, well, if he's going to lie, he's got to do a better job than that, because the CIA did not fly the SR-71. I think most of us know that. They flew something else called the A-12. So, he goes on, and I told my friend, I said, you can, on your iPhone, you can look up all the pilots and crew members who flew the A-12 and the SR-71. You can pull that up in about 10 seconds. So I said, what you ought to do is print out that roster and put it on the community board out in the hallway, and then beckon them over and tell them, hey, take a look at this, you're not on the list. So my point is, you know, he was in the Air Force. I don't know what he did. He's not going to tell us. But why don't you be proud of your service, whatever your contribution was? Because the machine don't work very well if one of us drops out of the system. So if you were part of the big wheel, one of the cogs, like most of us were, be proud of that and show yourself some respect. Anyway, stolen valor just really grates on me, Brian. So that's my tie-in to today's question. WB5DRI N5B.
Okay, Lee, interesting story. I feel sorry for him if he has to do that to inflate his ego or whatever his reasoning is there. There's no reason for that. But anyway, very good to hear you this morning, Lee, and thanks for all your help with the net logger. And this question, I got these questions because I read a book about a pilot that flew both the U-2 and the SR-71, and he also flew in the Korean War. His name was Buddy Brown, and I'll talk some more about him later, but he flew the SR-71 as well as the U-2, so a very interesting guy. But his book is a memoir that was written by his son, actually. Well, he wrote the memoir, but his son published it. His son, Scott Brown, published the book. It's called Beyond Mach 3. And it's pretty interesting reading. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Thanks for that, Lee. Break with N5BE. Let's go to Chief Mike up near Oklahoma City. WW5ENZ. What do you think about these questions, Mike? And how cold is it in Oklahoma City? WW5ENZ, WB5DRI.
Okay, WB5DRI. This is WW5ENZ. Good morning, and it's a pretty nice day up here. We got some sun, and it's 39 degrees. So we finally went over freezing for the first time in about 36 hours. So that's a good thing. And I know what Lee was just talking about. If you remember, I looked at that list, and that's when I surprised our Lee, the other Lee, when it was his first flight in the SR-71. That was actually on that database that Lee was talking about. So interesting stuff, and it's let's just put it that way. And if you make it if you try and do a lot of things and make a fool out of yourself, you end up in trouble. In fact, just look at our top leaders. All of them are being relieved of duty. I don't know if the chief of staff gone, the deputy chief of staff gone, all of the heads of the other organizations gone. So because they stood up and they called names, they badmouthed Trump and made up a bunch of crap, and so they're all gone. And it's too bad because the chief of staff was an Air Force officer, a fighter pilot, and it's sorry to see him go. But if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, and you can't make a fool of yourself. In other words, those stars aren't going to protect you from everything. So as far as the question goes, this is 012-1. There was one fatality, and so I'm going to go with Alpha Alpha. And I'll turn it back to you, Brian. WW5ENZ, back to net. WB5DRI.
Okay, very good, Mike. WW5ENZ, WB5DRI. Well, you're solid S9 this morning with me, Mike, from Oklahoma City, and we got your answers there as Alpha Alpha. So very good. Let's keep it moving here. Next up would be our station out in Alabama, KA4YES, who has visitors in the shack this morning. Good morning again to you, Tom, and to your visitors. And you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB
Okay, Tom, very good. Well, 73 to you and to your visitors there, Mr. Scott, Mr. Hawk, and Mr. Stacy, and you guys have a great day. It's great that you have some helpers to help you break camp there since you have to move. But have a very good day there, and we got your answers as Alpha Alpha. So very, very good, Tom. Good to have you with us this morning. Break with you. Let's swing up to Northeast Texas to my older brother Dale, W5OG. Good morning again, Dale, and love to you and Carolyn. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, Brian, mighty fine. All okay, and hearing pretty much everybody. I was struggling with Dave there, but I'm glad to hear him back on the net, and welcome back again, Dave, to you. And as far as the question, it'll be interesting to hear what Lee here, WPO has to say about the question, and we're looking forward to that. But I do need to take the dog out. I've got to walk Rusty, and it's chilly this morning, but this is probably the last day of cold weather, and perhaps for this year, because it's the next, the extended forecast now is for warmer weather. So we're talking in the 70s here next week for sure. Anyway, Alpha Alpha for me, and I don't know if Lee actually got the opportunity to outrun any missiles or not. It would be interesting to know. Anyway, I will be around for the 73 round, and hopefully back from walking the dog before you get to the 73 round, Brian. So anyway, back to you, and I'll bring in Don again if he's still there. WB5DRI, back to net, W5OG.
Okay, Dale, real fine. Well, no problem on needing to walk Rusty there, and we'll put you down for Alpha Alpha on the questions, and I'm sure Lee will have some interesting stories to tell about the SR-71 there. Kind of interesting to me that in this book, Beyond Mach 3, in his memoirs there, Colonel Buddy Brown says that about flying the SR, that, well, it was like being an astronaut, just more fun. Anyway, just a quote from him, and we'll keep it moving here. We'll break with W5OG. He's out walking the dog there, but he'll be back. Let's go ahead and go out to Hamul, California, to John, WA6LJS. John, thanks for the help this morning. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Okay, thank you, Brian. That's WB5DRI in the net, WA6LJS. Good morning to everyone. Pretty fair conditions here. I needed the SDR on a couple of visitors, but most everybody is coming in pretty good locally. Let's see, it's 52 degrees here. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Full sun, blue sky, and we're expecting to get up to about 75, 78. And then tomorrow, they're predicting we might get up into the 80s again. So that's quite interesting. Well, let's see. In answer to the question, well, I'm pretty sure the answer to the first one is zero. I don't think any 71s were shot down. And so put me down for alpha. And because they're matched pairs, that makes alpha 12, the amount of shot down, or the amount of accidents. So put me down also for alpha, Brian. So I'll be here to the bottom. Back to you, WB5DRI, WA6LJS.
Okay, John, WA6LJS, WB5DRI. Well, great signal this morning as usual, John. You're over the 9 mark. Good to hear you this morning from Hamul. And we got your answers there as alpha. So let's keep this parade moving here. Let's go to our commander up near Boise. Hope it's not too snowy and cold for you up there, Bob. K1BOB. Good morning again. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, K1BOB. No, it's not too bad. 28 degrees going up, so it'll be well above freezing. It just hit 50 yesterday, it did. So the snow is starting to melt out a little bit, but still pretty high. No snow in the forecast today. When went down to Boise, I may go down after the net. Very interesting question there, Brian. Yeah, I think I knew the first one was A. Second one I wasn't really sure of. I knew they've lost a lot. Some of the B12, 812 was it? The one part of that, the box part. They lost some of those in testing, initial testing. So I'll go with AA. I think that's a good group to hang around with. And I want to thank you down there in Florida. I think I'll there. Oh, let's see. I'm going to pull up the call sign. KG5TGE. James, thank you for the nice email with a picture from Eglin Air Force Base for that Eglin Test aircraft there. I've never flown that aircraft, but it was out at the, before Eglin, that aircraft was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base as part of the Fighter Weapons School. At that time, it was the Fighter Weapons School for all the fighters. That's been when it was exclusively fighters. So then it got transferred out to Eglin Test. Very good. Thank you for that. This is K1BOB. Back to W5DRI. Thank you for running that, Brian, and thank you, Leon, for doing the net load as always, and Charlie, thank you for doing the YouTube live stream, or I could read the question nicely. This is K1BOB. Back to net.
Okay, Bob, K1BOB, WB5DRI. Well, you're almost, you're about an S6 with me, Bob. Good signal this morning. And sometimes a little stronger than that, almost a S7. So very good. Good to hear you this morning. And thanks for all that. And got your answers there as alpha. So let's keep it moving here. Let's go to our member, our ops officer, Carl, out in Sparks, Nevada, who has a former life as an air traffic controller, as I mentioned earlier. KF7GJO. Good morning again, Carl. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Well, good morning, everybody. KF7GJO here. And the introduction, we need more controllers on the net. After all, who else could tell the commissioned officer pilots where to go and how how to get there in explicit detail. Well, as far as the question goes, put me down for the correct answer, Brian, because, in research of the books is one thing, and I've known quite a few Blackbird pilots. So my answer would be unfair to give it out. As for the war stories, Lee, I love to hear your stories. You've got some interesting experiences. After I left the FAA and started my second career as a washer-cutter deputy sheriff, like all new deputies, you start in the jail, and before you go to patrol or where do you really want to go. Well, we're sitting around in booking one night, and it was, for once, a slow night. Guys were talking, and one of the guys had been in patrol and had come back to the jail so that he could retire. Was saying, somewhere out there in the county there's supposed to be a black operation. And I always wondered where that was and what they did and one thing or another. And I'm thinking, the one thing about a black operation, if it truly exists, is you won't know it. Well, I in the jail and then went to patrol, and a couple of years later I'm down south in patrol on graveyard, and I get an alarm activation call at a local nursery. Well, I was almost out in front of it when the call came out, so I killed my headlights, pulled in, and I parked, I get out, I walk around the building. Now, back in the 1800s, this particular building was a Wells Fargo bank. Real easy to tell the Wells Fargo bank because they had iron shuttered doors and windows. Well, I walk down, everything is secure, and I go back to my car and I'm filling out the alarm activation notice when dispatch had said that the responsible person would be responding in a black Suburban. Didn't give me any more information. Well, this black Suburban pulls up. The doors open. 4 guys get out. 3 of them armed with AR-15 type rifles. They go out and check the building. And I think, well, that's different. But then in law enforcement, you soon learn to the unexpected. Well, the other fellow, the driver, he comes over, identifies himself as a responsible person. And I told him that I've checked the perimeter, everything looks secure. If he'd like, I've checked the interior. So I said, sure. We walk over, we unlock the doors, turn the lights on, and we go inside. And now this is 1990-ish, before a lot of, before personal computers had really gone working. We get inside this building, and there's a bunch of drafting tables in there, and a couple of computers. And hanging on the walls is pictures of various iterations of the U-2 Dragon Lady, and picture of the long-wing RP-57, which I always thought of as the true secret spy plane. Couple pictures of the SR. Well, we walk around, everything is secure. This guy is friendly as could be. I just worry about watching the Nikolai in the SR-71 trainer, and he said good luck. We get back to the back, and here's the original vault. Looks like there's a huge padlock on the door of this vault. But I go, that's where you got the blueprint hidden for Aurora. Well, it looks to kill. This guy's personality instantly turned as cold as ice. He says, we're done here. Ushers me out of the building. They get in the car and drive away. No such thing. I go back in service, get back on the street. A week later, I'm down there working that same beat, and I swing in, the spotlight is moving, and all the iron shutters and doors and windows are standing open. So I put myself out on the business deck, walk around. The inside of this place is empty. There's nothing whatsoever inside this building. The vault door is standing open. There's nothing inside the vault. And I think, well, I've seen stranger things. Decades later, I'm talking to an old Army buddy that spent much of his career detailed with the CIA. I remembered this story and tell you about it. And he says, yes, you did indeed. It's a black operation. And he said what they did was, as soon as they cleared, they advised their handler of what you had inadvertently discovered. What they would do is they wouldn't question anything. You'd just shut it down and move it someplace else. And congratulations, you did in fact shut down a black operation. Today's war story. Hope everybody enjoyed that. And please message me, Brian. Back to you, buddy. WB5DRI Brians Net.
Okay, Carl, KF7GJO, WB5DRI. Well, very interesting story, Carl. I didn't realize that you had so many other careers there. Very interesting stuff. I have a son, my oldest son has been in law enforcement for over 30 years. He's a San Antonio police officer, sergeant here in San Antonio. And so I know I have an affinity for all law enforcement folks. So very interesting story there, Carl. And that's really something that they ushered you out there. Anyway, interesting stuff, Carl. And I put you down for the correct answer. Good to hear you. You're about an S6 with me, sometimes stronger here in San Antonio. Let's keep it moving. Let's go out to California, to Corona, to Jim out there, W6WAY. Good morning, Jim. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Brian, WB5DRI. This is W6WAY. And let's see, it's 58 degrees here. It's going to warm up to 77. So it's going to be a nice day. And let's see, my answer is Alpha. So just back over to WB5DRI, W6WAY.
Okay, Jim, W6WAY, WB5DRI. Well, we got you down for Alpha, and good to hear you this morning, Jim. I'm hearing you on the electric radio as well as the SDRs. So let's keep it moving here. I hope everything is going well for you out there in Corona. Break with W6WAY. Let's go to WB2JJO. That would be Ray in New Jersey. Good morning, Ray. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. WB5DRI from WB2JJO. Well, I'll tell you what, Brian, you've got one fantastic net going on here this morning. Very, very informative. I really enjoy the war stories and stuff. I'll tell you what, this is one place that you can get information that you can't get from school. So this is a real good net. I really like it. Out here in New Jersey, southern New Jersey, I got, believe it or not, I got 46 degrees here and sunny. It almost feels like summertime here after all that cold weather that we had, and all that snow that we had. But anyway, it's a beautiful day here in southern New Jersey. Let's see, what else I got a copy on? Oh yeah, as far as your signal is here, you're about a 5.5 to me, about a 5.5 on the electric radio, and I can hear you pretty well. But you're much better on the SDR for sure. And as far as the question is concerned, boy, I'll tell you what, this one is an easy one. My answer is Alpha. I say again, the answer is Alpha. And we're going to kick it back over to you because it's almost to the top of the hour, and we've got a bunch of more people to go here. So, Brian, thank you for doing the net. Great question. And over to you, sir. WB5DRI from WB2JJO.
Okay, Ray, very good. WB2JJO, WB5DRI. Well, I'm copying you well on the SDRs and also fairly well on the radio this morning, Ray, so very good. Got your answers there as Alpha Alpha. We'll break with you. Let's go to one of our members who actually flew the SR-71. W4PUO, my neighbor to the east here, Lee, over in Belleville, Texas. Lee, good morning, sir. You're up. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, W4PUO. Thank you, Brian, for the question. That was kind of interesting. Took me a bit down memory lane this morning, and I had not read Buddy Brown's book, but I'm going to see if I can't get a copy. It sounds pretty interesting. I think you said it was Beyond Mach 3. Anyhow, I'll find it on Amazon and get a copy. I got a lot of stories, but I'm not going to go through all those right now. Somebody told me early on when I started flying that airplane that I shouldn't worry too much about the enemy missiles coming up just because of the altitude and speed. You know, they said it's like trying to get two 30-06 bullets to hit each other in the middle of the air. So you just don't have the geometry for that kind of performance. You need a guidance system, and it's got to be long enough ahead of the path of the airplane to be able to predict where it's going to be. We could make a 10-degree heading change and mess up everybody's geometry. Anyhow, long stories, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that job. You had to sit, they said, on the front edge of your seat for the whole mission because it was such a challenging cockpit for a pilot. And the accidents that did occur, some were beyond any kind of action to correct or control, but even those that might have involved some possibility, very challenging and not much chance to do anything to help you when things go wrong. Having said that, the training program was super. It was excellent, and I really enjoyed my time in the airplane. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to be one and done. I'll listen around a little bit, Brian, but appreciate your net today, and 73s to all my fellow flyers and maintainers and the traffic controllers and missileers. W4PUO, back to net.
Okay, Lee, very good. W4PUO, WB5DRI. Well, I'll put you down for Alpha Alpha there, Lee. And, that must have been a fantastic airplane to have flown. Sounds like you really had some great times in that. And it wasn't, I'm sure it was not an easy aircraft to fly, but because of the nature of the airplane, but it certainly was an interesting one and has a great history. It must have been something to have flown in an airplane that was faster than a speeding bullet and could outrun missiles and really did from time to time, I'm sure, as well as a lot of other aircraft that were trying to intercept it, but never managed to do that while it was on its operational mission. Anyway, very good, Lee. We'll break with you. Have a great day there in Belleville. 73s to you, and thanks for joining us this morning. Let's go to W5ABI Joe out in Las Cruces. Good morning, Joe. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI in the flyers. Whoa, wait a second. I don't know. Am I putting out anything over?
Yeah, I'm hearing you well. Joe, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I got a problem here on the meter. Anyhow, good morning to you and the rest of the flyers. Thanks for running the net. Beautiful day here. Not a beautiful day, I'm sorry. It's overcast. It's about 46, going to go up to 62. So we get a lot overcast days without rain, but we sure could use the rain here. Let me see. I'm going to go with the group with Alpha Alpha on the question.
and we'll be here to the bottom. So WB5DRI, W5ADI.
Okay, real fine, Joe. Got you down for Alpha Alpha, and sounds like you're having a little bit warmer day there in Las Cruces, so very good on that. And I think the warmth is going to come back to us here as well in a couple of days, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's keep it moving here. Next up would be, I believe, our YouTube live stream guy. That's K4YDB. Charlie, good morning again, sir. You're up. WB5DRI. Okay, Charlie, very good. K4YDB, got you down for Alpha Alpha, and you're booming in here as per usual over the 9 mark. So good to hear you, and thanks again for all you do with the live stream on YouTube and all your help with the net this morning and the relays. So anyway, got you down. Let's break with you. Let's go out to, it looks like Arizona is up next. Anthem, Arizona to Mike out there. King Queen 6 Echo. Mike, good morning. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI in the group KQ6E. Good to hear everybody this morning. It's 59 degrees in Arizona. I'm sorry. It's going to be up to 74. The only hitch is we got a 20-mile-an-hour wind right now, so I was going to go out and clean my fuel filters today, but I think I'll wait till tomorrow when the wind calms down. So that takes that off the table for the day. But Monday I get my heart done. So we'll see how that works. Got my fingers crossed that will get me going again. Boy, I've just been really lethargic because of this AFib. So, Doc says it's a simple process. We'll get it running again. So, it is what it is. On the SR-71, I love that airplane. I had the opportunity back in 1969. I guess just after it was declassified. I was in England. I was coming into work. I was in the photo lab, and I was coming into work and coming in parallel to the perpendicular to the flight line, and all of a sudden all these cars are stopping, and what's going on? Turned down the flight line, and all of a sudden this big black thing came out of the sky with its nose pointing up, and it looked like it was about a 45-degree angle. Came in and touched down, end of the runway, around the flight hangar, and into one of the other fields of the Morse Road. The boss says, well, we got stuff coming in here. You're in charge. That's because I had a TS clearance, so I was the guy that processed the film. And about an hour later, they come walking in with the canisters of film. We load up the machine and get everything rolling, and the stuff coming off the motion. I look at it, and it's just he says, it's fine. Okay. So we process the film, put it all together, and all. He says, well, you want to see something? Yeah. So I walk in, and there's a bunch of their photo interpreters in our conference room, and the lights are out, and they're projecting all this stuff, and lo and behold, there's images coming off of this film. What the heck is that? But anyway, that's my experience with the SR-71. And afterwards, he says, hey, you want to see the airplane? I went, yeah. So he took me over to the hangar, and we went in, got a close-up look at the Blackbird. We could feel all over the floor. I just got to make us that's one of the pieces of the SR-71 that I'll never forget that experience. Out of nowhere, boom, 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 and watching that. But I learned a whole lot and got to see some incredible stuff from that airplane. We'd been out flying over Cuba, I guess, and we talked about the aircraft. That's my SR-71 story. I can tell you that from the airplane. That was fun. So I'm going to go with Alpha on the deal and see where we stand. So WB5DRI KQ6E.
Okay, Mike, KQ6E, WB5DRI. Well, great stories there, Mike, and you certainly have had opportunity to see a lot of interesting aircraft and be in a lot of and meet some interesting people in your career as a photographer there for the Air Force, and you really had some neat experiences, and that sounds neat to have been able to have seen that aircraft up close early on before the rest of us ever got to see it at all, I'm sure. But very interesting stuff, and good to have you with us this morning, Mike. And I got your answers as Alpha Alpha. I'll break with you, and I do want to recognize our tailhook Navy guy. That's Steve, K6PX. And I guess he's receive only out near San Diego this morning, so we'll give him a wave of the hand and a salute and keep it moving here. And next up would be another one of our Arizona stations, actually, Whiskey X-Ray 7, Lima Lima. Art, good morning, sir. You're up. WB5DRI.
Check in.
Stand by, Bob. Okay, Art, real fine. Whiskey X-Ray 7, Lima Lima, WB5DRI. Interesting story there, Art, and very cool. They made a museum there out of that, and Good to have you with us this morning, and we got your answers there for the questions. Is Alpha Alpha. Let me go ahead and take our late check-in this morning before I move out to, before I take Ken in California, or in Arizona, rather. Let me take Bob down in Florida there. K2SJP. Bob, go ahead and take your turn. Good morning. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI. This is K2SJP, and we just made it over to Holiday from Lutz. We had to reset everything, and got us back on the air remotely, but the 2GXL will not work. I really didn't have enough time to stay with it, so we're running 100 watts right now on the 6400 remotely over here in Holiday. Just thought we'd check in. Didn't hear the question of the day, so I can't give you an answer on it. Let's see, we have 68 degrees over here right now in Holiday, and this morning it was about 50 degrees when we went out at about 5:30 a.m. So that's the deal from this end. Thanks for running the net, Brian. I'm glad I was able to get in. Sorry we're running so late. WB5DRI K2SJP.
Okay, Bob, not a problem. K2SJP, WB5DRI. Well, you're over the 9 mark, Bob, so your 100 watts is doing great for you. You really don't need that PGXL this morning. But I hope you get that working again for you the way it's supposed to. But you really don't need it. But you're sounding good, so very good, and not a problem on checking in late there, Bob. Good to have you with us. Break with K2SJP. Let's go to Ken in Arizona, another one of our Arizona stations, Alpha Echo 7 Sierra X-Ray. Ken out near Kingman. You're up, sir. Good morning. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. This is K5DRI. Alpha Echo 7 Sierra X-Ray.
The frequency is in use, so the net in progress.
Okay, Ken, great story there. Alpha Echo 7 Sierra X-Ray about the SRs in Thailand there. Yeah, I know they had to land at different places sometimes when they had emergencies, and I think that's what you experienced there. But very interesting that they had to fly in their start cart and but about the pictures there, though, that doesn't seem fair somehow to let the local Thais take pictures, but not the Americans. What's wrong with this picture? Anyway, very interesting stuff there, Ken. We got your answers as Alpha Alpha. Let's keep it moving. Break with you. Let's go to Chris out in Bowling Green. KS5. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to skip James here. I'm about to do that. We'll pick you up after, Chris. Let me get James in there in Belton. KG5PTZ. Good morning, James. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
That's okay, Brian. WB5DRI, KG5PT. You could have put Chris. It's no big deal. I'm going to go
answer. And Brian, I just sent you a few pictures from Eglin Museum there at the Armament Museum of the SR-71. When you started the net, I said, oh shoot, I need to send Brian some of those pictures. You know, on February the 3rd, I was walking around the Air Force Armament Museum there, and I was admiring the SR-71 Blackbird there, and the first thing I was thinking about was Lee, W4PUO. I was thinking of Lee sitting in that cockpit flying that airplane. I was admiring that aircraft, and I was thinking of you, Lee, flying that thing, and you were in my mind at the time. I mean, I was visioning Lee sitting in that cockpit flying that thing while I was walking around that thing, and I was amazed at how big those engine nacelles were. And, you know, right next behind it, they got a B-52G model that I worked on at Barksdale. So it was kind of unique to have the B-52 that I used to work on at Barksdale right next to the SR-71. And then right across the road there was an S-15 that I worked on there at Eglin, all right there together. So it was kind of a somber moment for me. And they had the mother of all bombs right out front, the Moab parked out front. So that Armament Museum, I went over there. I was planning on going over there just for an hour or so. I ended up spending almost 4 hours there. Walking around all those aircraft at the Armament Museum. I spent more time there than at the Navy Museum in Pensacola a few days earlier. Went through that museum as well, so both great times going through both of those museums. But Alpha is my answer, and yeah, that's an amazing aircraft, that SR-71, and I can actually look between the seams of the airframe, and I could tell how the fuel could leak on that plane, just like Mike was describing KQ-6E. But thanks for running the net, and Bob, K2SJP, you had a real good solid S9 signal in here into Texas from Florida. No problem there. So everybody sounded good on the electric radio and on the Yaesu here. WB5DRI in the net, KG5PT, back to net.
Okay, James, very good. KG5PTE, WB5DRI. We got you down for Alpha. And thanks for sending me some pictures there. I haven't had a chance to see that, but I'll check it out later. But very good to have you with us this morning, James. Break with you. Let's go to Chris, finally in Bowling Green. KS5KY. Good morning, Chris. You're up, sir. WB5DRI. WB5DRI, KS5KY. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, all the fire. Sorry for being late. This afternoon. So I went to go get the parts, and got back everything was already full swing, and appreciate getting that into the work by Lee on that. As far as the question goes, the only incident with the SR-71 other than maybe some plane both launcher and by design. With the masses, I'll go Alpha as well. And other than that, sometimes I went over to my friend's house to use it for us. It's too chilly here. We're supposed to be slowly warming up. Snow, for the most part, melted here, so it's next week we're supposed to be on the foot wave again. I guess Mother Nature can't make it what she wants to do. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing well, staying on the sky, and back to you. KS5KY, back to that.
Okay, Chris, KS5KY, WB5DRI. Well, you're on the 9 mark with me this morning, Chris. Good signal here in San Antonio. Good to hear you. And we got your answers there is Alpha. I hope you have a great day there in Bowling Green, and I hope it's not too terrible for you weather-wise out there. I know you guys have had some really blizzard-type bad weather this winter, so hopefully it'll warm up a little bit more for you there. But good to hear you this morning, Chris. Let's keep it moving. Next up would be another Nevada station. Hope he's still in there with us this morning. Randy out there in Henderson, Nevada. N5GOP. Good morning, Randy. You're up, sir. WB5DRI. Is anybody here GOP. Well, I don't hear any response. I'm sorry, I'm not copying N5 GOP. We'll give him a wave of the hand in the 73s. He may just be out there listening or something this morning. I do see we've been joined by another station, Kilo 7, Golf Papa Golf. That would be, looks like Chance in Casa Grande, Arizona. Chance, if you'd like to get into our net this morning, you're up, sir. WB5DRI. Did he turn it?
I think he did, Brian. He didn't have much to say. K1DOB.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Chance, good to have you with us this morning. I was copying you, but you were a little light. But thanks for joining our net this morning, and do come back and join us again when you can. Break with Kilo 7 Golf Papa Golf. That is the bottom of the list as I have it, I believe. Did I miss any stations, or do we have any last-minute check-ins before I give the answers to the questions here? Call now, WB5DRI. Okay, stand by, Charlie, with your info. November 2, Foxtrot Echo Tango. Thanks for joining us this morning. Can you give us your name and location there? Over. Okay, Francis. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the live stream on YouTube. Good to have you with us on the net this morning. Anything else for the Flyers Club net? Okay, Francis. Well, very good on the football, and thanks for joining us on the net this morning here. Come back and join us again whenever you can. Break with November 2, Foxtrot Echo Tango. That's the bottom of the list. Let me go ahead and give the answers to the questions. Just about everybody got the questions correct this morning. There were no SR-71s lost due to enemy action, so the correct answer was Alpha on the first question, and that would, of course, make the question on the second question also Alpha, and that was, excuse me, of the 32 SR-71s that were built, how many were lost due to accidents? It was Alpha 12. There were a total of 12 lost. And it's kind of interesting, this book that I read, Beyond Mach 3, it was mentioned that Colonel Brown, I guess he was a major then, he had an accident in an SR-71 and had to eject along with his RSO. He didn't mention it in his book, but it was his son did mention it in a tribute to him that he had ejected from an SR-71 during a refueling accident. And that is, in fact, what happened to him. He broke both his legs. He was flying with his RSO as a Major Buddy Brown. His RSO's name was Major Matt Jarvis, and he hit one tanker that was a KC-135Q near El Paso, Texas, and they had to hit a second tanker, and they were all lined up to do that, and things went really, really bad, and they experienced some terrible turbulence all of a sudden, and it ended up that the SR-71 crashed into the rear of the tanker, into the boom and the back of the tanker, and it took out the whole front of the SR-71. So Major Brown and Major Jarvis had to eject. Unfortunately, fortunately, they were picked up just a few minutes later by a helicopter, but he broke both of his legs, and it took him about 6 months to recover. But he had a very interesting, distinguished career as a pilot of both the F-86 in Korea and then the U-2 and the SR-71. So he had quite a distinguished career. But you can read about that in his book if you're interested in more details. And you can also find all these accidents online, all dozen of them, if you want to read the details of the different accidents. The SR was a great aircraft, and it was tough to fly. I think the most dangerous part of the mission was probably the refueling aspect of the whole thing, because it's very, it's loaded. Once it's loaded with all that fuel, and it's very, I guess it's very awkward until it gets up to speed after it leaves the tanker. But it's a little bit tricky to fly in that particular environment, or that particular aspect of the mission, so they had to really be careful with that part of it. But anyway, interesting stuff from my standpoint, having read that book. Hope everybody enjoyed the questions this morning. We're at the bottom of the net. I don't think we have time for a full 73 round, so I'll just turn it over to anybody who would like to provide some comments to the net before we close it down here. This is WB5DRI, and the answers were Alpha, Alpha for all there. Anybody who would like to make a comment, come now, WB5DRI. Well, I thought I heard somebody, but you're a little bit too weak for me this morning. I'm not sure who was calling there, but it's been my pleasure to be net control this morning. I think I'll go ahead and close out the net. We do have an Echolink node on Echolink on the conference nodes. If you'll look up AFSC there, if you have Echolink, you're welcome to join us over there for a second 73 round that we have following this conclusion of this 20-meter net. So thanks everybody for joining us on the net this morning, and for all the participation and all the relays and the help with NetLogger there by N5BE, and the YouTube live stream from K4YDB. Thanks guys for your help. 73s everybody. God bless our troops, and God bless the USA. This is WB5DRI, now closing the Air Force's Flyers Club net and returning the frequency to normal amateur use. Good day, everybody.
on.